right, so if we want to go to the next slide, and we'll just go over what is SEO. So you may have heard of it before, you may not have, but SEO stands for search engine optimization, and it's the process of getting free or organic traffic through search engines like Google, Bing, or Yahoo. So this is a search engine's results page, also referred to as a SERP. In the top is the paid results. So Justin's going to talk more about like paid results and remarketing and everything like that. Everything in purple is your organic SEO results. And when you look at the green, you can kind of see the review rating at the bottom with the stars. So this is special review markups that you would include. So obviously if you have good reviews, you want to promote that on the search results page so that other potential customers can see that other people like your products. All right. So, assuming you're new to the world of digital marketing, there are a couple things that I would suggest when it comes to where you should start when it comes to SEO. So first and foremost, prior to making any changes on your site, you need to have your analytics set up. So these are free services through Google. So you need to have Google Analytics and Google Webmaster Tools, and this allows you to track any changes that you're making and also sets a baseline for any improvements that you've made to your site. So after you've done that, we're going to move on to my little mini audit. So looking at your site structure, so this is how easy and it works in with usability as well. So it's how easy your site is to navigate through, if it makes sense to other people. Sometimes when you are so deep in the weeds of your own website, it's helpful if you have somebody else who's not involved in your business go through your site and pretend they're a customer and walk through how it goes and them give you feedback. That's a free way to do it. There are also heat mapping technologies that you can use, which allow you to be a little bit creepy and view how people are actually using your site, and it records like their actual where their mouse is going on, where they're scrolling to, and everything like that. So the next one is your URL structure. So this may be something that you often don't think about. You want your URL structure to contain keywords and not include unnecessary words like the, a, or random numbers or other characters, because it is an SEO ranking factor. The next one, which I kind of talked about, is product content. So making sure that this is customized and also engaging, describing what the product is and if there's any specific specifications that you want to call out that people would be interested in. And then metadata. So it might be helpful if you jump back to the picture, Chase. So metadata is title tag and meta description. So in blue, where you see like men's clothing, Nike.com, that is a title tag. You want to include keywords in there. That's a ranking factor. So Nike and bigger brands are kind of an outlier because they have so much brand recognition and so much SEO built up already that it really doesn't matter. It matters to a certain extent, but they have the brand recognition there. For smaller businesses, it's much more important to call out specific keywords for products or whatever else you're featuring on that page. And the next one, where you see find men's clothing at Nike.com, is called a meta description. So this is not an SEO ranking factor, but by optimizing it to tell people more about what they're going to see when they go to that page is encouraging them to click on you versus clicking on a competitor's page. You can go to, I think we're on slide, I don't know what slide we're on.
This one?
Yes. And then also analyzing on-site content opportunities. So this is an individual page title, so like what's at the top of the page, headers, which are going to be like when you think of when you're writing a paper, like what breaks up the different sections, and then subheaders, and also the actual content. So for product pages, it's mostly going to be your product content that is the on-page content, but you may have, like your home page has different content. If you have an FAQ page, that's content, anything like that. And then exploring markup opportunities. So we talked about this briefly before with the review markup. This is more of a technical component, but it allows you to get increased exposure and encourages people to click on you over someone else. So there's pricing markup, there's also review markup, and like for a non-e-commerce sites, there's like author markup and everything like that. So next, once you've completed the audit, looking at all of those things, which is a lot, there are a couple of things that you should do that's going to be considered the bare minimum when it comes to SEO. So this is and some of these components are just business best practices in general, but having customer personas set up, which I think we have these written out on the next slide. Yes. So customer personas. So who is your customer? This is just a best practice so that when you're crafting any content, you know exactly who you're talking to. Looking at what your competitors are doing. So if there's something that they're doing that is a best practice or something they're doing that is very successful, how can you leverage that with your own business? Or if are you looking through all of the best practices and you see there's something they're not doing, that's a great opportunity for you to do that because there's a gap in what they're putting out there. Also, keyword research. With businesses of all sizes, oftentimes, again, getting too much in the weeds, there may be specific products that you call something internally. So I used to work at the Limited, and the designers would craft what the products were called, and I am an avid shopper, and when they were talking about like what a specific cut of a shirt was, they'd be like, just a random example would be like a long sleeve flounce top. I have no idea what that is, and I guarantee our customers have no idea what that is. So you want to figure out the word that they're actually using when they're searching for a shirt that looks like that. And then updating any product content. So if when you were doing your audit, you saw, well, yeah, I am using manufacturer standard product descriptions, or they're pretty dry, or it's just one line of text, adding that additional product content. Crafting unique metadata. So with many website platforms like Shopify, it auto-generates metadata for you, but that may not be the best metadata for that specific page. So making sure that you're not just using whatever's auto-generated. Looking for any site structure or URL improvements. And then if you do any URL changes, also making sure that you do redirects, which is also pretty easy within Shopify. And this is just ensuring that wherever your URL was previously listed, it gets correctly redirected to what the new URL is, so you're not losing any potential traffic. And then any usability improvements. So when you had like a friend go through your website and go through a faux order, if there were any questions that came up during that process, making sure that you implement their suggestions if they're necessary. So you don't want to just go off one person's suggestion. It might be helpful to get like a handful of people going through the same process. And then any on-site content improvements. So this again is like the actual product descriptions, any other on-page content, the headers, the subheaders, and the titles, and then implementing any markup opportunities that exist. I would say at the minimum when it comes to markup, you would want to do reviews if you have those on your site, and also the pricing. Okay, so there are a couple accounts that you can create that will help you do these items. So the free accounts are going to be Google Analytics, Google Search Console, which used to be called Google Webmaster Tools, Google AdWords Keyword Planner. So when you're thinking through what keywords you need to target in your content, this is going to help you figure out what people are actually searching for. Google Business Page / Google My Business, and this is only really relevant if you have a local, like a physical location for your business. And then also there are some paid accounts. So I referenced it before when it comes to thinking about the usability of your site, but Hotjar, the one that allows you to see what people are doing when they're on your site, it's free up to 3 pages. So I always suggest like just implementing it on your most high traffic pages to start off with. And then you can kind of see where people are scrolling to and what they're clicking on most frequently. SEMrush, this allows you to monitor some more of the technical components, and it also has like some keyword search capabilities and allows you to see who's linking to you and other fun stuff like that. Moz also does keyword research and local listings, and it has a couple other functionalities that are beneficial for your business. And the one, Screaming Frog, which is a funny name, but it allows you to download a complete list of all of the pages on your site, And it's easier when you're thinking about crafting your title tags and your meta descriptions because it all goes into a spreadsheet format for you. So you can see that very easily rather than clicking into each individual page and seeing what your title tag and meta description is. This can be free if you have like less than, I think, 100 pages on your site, and then the paid version is like 99 euros, which I don't know what the current conversion rate is, but it's probably around 100 bucks. So if you want to do even more than those things, so if you're serious about growing your organic presence and your business, and you have either the budget or the time to do these things, and this is going to set you apart from your competitors, you can also explore a local listing strategy, which again, only if you have a physical location. And this allows you to be listed in hundreds upon hundreds of different sites, and all of those things work together when people are doing near me searches, like clothing store near me or clothing store in Columbus, Ohio. Also exploring a content strategy. So this is beyond just the standard content that you're putting on your page. It's thinking through like a blog or a podcast or even a newsletter strategy and how those things can work together. And then also link building. So when in SEO, when you have other high quality sites linking to your site, you get a boost in your SEO value because of basically the good energy that they're passing on to you. So when it comes to Shopify specifically, it does make it easy. So if your site is set up on Shopify, you're already ahead of the curve because they do a couple things for you. They automatically create what is called a sitemap and also a robots.txt file. So when you think about a website like a book, a sitemap is basically the index or table of contents, and you are sending that to search engines so that they know what they should be crawling on your site and how they should be reading your site. And this makes it easier for your site to be indexed and found on search results pages. They also make it easy to do those metadata optimizations. I would just make sure that when they auto-generate them, that you are again auditing them and making sure that they're unique and different and actually add value. And then when it comes to any content improvements, it's a very intuitive interface. So you just open the page and you'll be able to make any edits that you need to. So I would bet that there are a couple things that you can do right now to benefit your business, but the thought of doing all of these things can be very overwhelming, so there are resources out there for you. I would say if you don't know what Google Analytics are, that is where you should absolutely start, is setting up a Google Analytics account. It makes it pretty easy for you before you make any other investments into your online business. And all of these things are going to be essential. You absolutely don't have to do all of them, but the more you do, the better your site is going to be ranked, and the more likely it's going to be found by people who don't already know about you. All right, that's it. Yeah.